Greetings, Planet Earth. I am back once again to continue reading Rayman the Culture Revolution, this incredible fan fiction that Shoen discovered when researching the earliest instance of Professor Bronco 3. Which is kind of funny to think about because, like, Zeta made a good point that the fact that the story is called the story refers to the character as Professor Bronco Clone 3 implies that this is actually the fourth Bronco. But yeah, so I have all my buddies here once again. If you guys like to introduce yourself, some will be speaking, which is perfectly fine.
Well, hi, Meta here.
Hello, Zeta.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Is my microphone not killing people's ears this time?
I think it's better than last time. Yeah.
I hope so, because last, like in the VOD, I guess that you posted on YouTube, it sounded like my ears would be blown up by hearing the sound of my voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it sounds good. I didn't think it sounded that bad, but then again, I have low standards.
Eric says hello. Eric Zen says hello in the chat.
Yeah, hello. Rabbit Lover says, hello, I may speak later. So let's do a brief little recap of what just happened in the story. So chapter 1, we got introduced to this new villain named Nellicus, who is responsible for creating all the villains in the Rayman series, including the rabbits. The rabbits were his first creation. Jano, by the way, got his ass kicked by the rabbits, and we haven't seen him in a while, so maybe we'll see him again later. Second chapter, well, the first chapter ended with the Glade of Dreams popping, so it's gone now. Chapter 2, Nellicus and his cronies are keeping Rayman captive, and Rayman was about to get indoctrinated by some, like, mind hypnotization device thing. I don't know. I think Murphy may have gotten indoctrinated, but who knows. Chapter 3, we see Nellicus and his villain friends decide on whether or not Mario could be considered art. And they also ban pop music, so that's how you know they're evil. And then Rayman and his friends storm a fortress where they beat the original Professor Bronco and I think Sergway as well. And that's kind of where we left off in the story. So now we have Chapter 4, The Nightmare Experience, which that's quite the name. Rayman had to use a scarf on his eyes so Nellicus wouldn't see where the rebels had their hiding place. So annoying. He could hear happy sounds and conversations around him and feel gentle jungle wind on his face, but he needed to use some less hectic moments too. For the first time in his life, he actually hoped that the adventure he was currently involved would be over. like previous adventures, he was like, oh man, I hope this adventure never ends. Robo Pirates were the first hero work he remembers, so pure excitement kept those thoughts away. As for hoodlums and rabbits, he just couldn't take them seriously enough to feel fear. Really, not even the rabbits. Okay. Rayman felt an arm gently touching his shoulder. What's in your mind, Rayman? Lee asked. I really like to enjoy my time here, but Nellicus is ruining that too. Lee sighed. Be glad that you can't see your surroundings. Nellicus' influence can be seen here too. In the distance, there's a silhouette of his base of operations. Culture Chateau. I forgot that's the name of the place. So menacing and pressing. Below it, there's Culture City, which is spread nearly every corner. Does it keep spreading? No. Nellicus says that nature is an important place for artists to get inspiration. Rayman hated to sadden Lee more, but he had to ask it. How did you get in here? Well, it happened when Andre started to make hoodlums. Polycus ordered me and Clark to gather all lums to safety. Polycus could protect the lums, but that would make him weaker. We couldn't save the red lums or that one purple lum from turning to hoodlums, but all the others were gathered into Polycus's holy place, and then he came. Zeta says, "What's next? The caves of culture, culture land." This villain group absolutely loves culture. Lee breathed heavily. He used Lum's energy to create a portal between the two planets. It swallowed all the Lums inside of it. He made a spell on Polycus, who froze to his place. Then his hideous claws cracked me. He gazed right to me with his yellow-red pupilled eyes, and I could see the very essence of darkness. "Calm down, Lee," Rayman said, and gently hugged her. "Nelicus is not here. Calm down." "Yeah, sorry," Lee said when she had got her breathing steady. "He is just very frightening when he uses his gaze of evil. I passed out and woke up in a prison. Nelicus talked to me and explained everything about the culture. I pretended that I would cooperate. I have helped resistance ever since." "So, what have you been doing all these years?" Polycus mentioned that every inhabitant in this planet has to make something related to culture. Because I'm good to sew, I started to be a fashion designer to make clothes. We all know that Lee the Fairy is really good at sewing. Eventually, I got enough resources to get more people to do the making part while I did the designing part. Now I'm an anti-citizen, so I can't continue my work. Even if I could, I have to change my job tomorrow because Culture Council was discussing about is fashion art or not. Perhaps it's already decided that it's illegal to be a fashion designer.
What does this mean? Any of this mean? This is so.
Oh no. Rayman wanted to discuss more, but then he heard King Atmiozo's voice. Oh, that's right. That's like the long teensy character.
I feel like by the end of this story, like Nolicus will ban absolutely everything
Oh,
and not call anything culture. Like it's like the only thing that is culture is me, and you all must die.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the impression that might be the case.
I said, I am the Senate.
I am the Senate. There you are, Rayman. Nice that I could meet you before I have to leave. Is it really wise for you to be here? Rayman asked. Do not worry about Nelicus. He can hear only small samples of our speech. He thinks that I am grounded in teens. I mean Fairy Council, but I have found easy way to get out of there. Nelicus can't do anything about it because he doesn't know where I ran. But I came here to... Wait a minute, interrupted Rayman. What are you going to say before Fairy Council? What? Oh, I was going to accidentally say Teensy's hideout. Why, you think I would actually cooperate with his culture craziness to gain more power? Oh, of course not, Your Majesty, said Rayman, shamed. Forgive my doubts. No harm done. These are hard times, and everyone's nerves are strained. But I came here to inform that I'm now going to pretend cooperation with Nelicus. Wait, what? Okay, I also wanted to wish you good luck, Rayman. I know you can heal this world. Rayman heard that Atmiozo's steps moved forward. Globox mentioned that he wants to continue the journey with us, Lee said. He has become more courageous during my absence. I'm so proud of him. Yo, UbiArt Globox origin story? So am I, agreed Rayman. For a moment, he and Lee sat quietly and enjoyed the warm breeze of the wind. I want to thank Terrazon for his hospitality, said Rayman. Would you help me to get there? Lee took Rayman's hands and helped him to walk. Although Rayman couldn't see it, Lee smiled warmly. So Rayman was going to travel across the swamp of bad dreams. Razorbeard knew that Rayman had been in thug places before, but he couldn't just understand how Rayman thought to survive from that miserable place. Hostile creatures nearly everywhere, wetland nearly everywhere, bizarre shapes nearly everywhere. Luckily, he didn't need to land on that place. The prison ships were full of robot pirates to use. One person he wanted to use was the clumsy sidekick of his. Never for any good use? What? But Razorbeard knew. Wait, hold on. What? Wait, I'm confused. Whose perspective is this? But Razorbeard knew Nellicus wouldn't allow that because of the Creature Rights article, paragraph 36. Every creature is useful. Therefore, the uselessness of a creature is not a tolerated reason to send them into certain doom. What? He would want someone cleverer, like Professor Bronco. He hated how Cirque mistreated him all the time. What? Razorbeard decided to offer to exchange sidekicks with him. Although Razorbeard had a one good candidate for the next second in command, but there was much work to be done to ensure her loyalty. Razorbeard decided to go to look for her. After a walk, he found her sweeping the deck and guarded by 4 robo-pirates. She was a fairy with red hair and bright green dress and hat. Wait! Like Rayman, she too had no limbs. Could you leave me and our prisoner for a moment? Asked Razorbeard from the guards. Robo-pirates doubted their admiral's command, but they knew it wasn't wise to argue with him, so they left. There's a good reason why you're sweeping the desk, you know. The prisoner looked Razorbeard with look that radiated despise. I think spoiling the food and the monsters, like robo-pirates, should be awarded with a medal. Razorbeard sighed. This was going to be tough. Batilla, try to understand that if it wasn't me decide your punishments, you would never see the sunlight again. I believe you could become a good second in command. Second in command? Said Batilla without believing her ears. But I'm a rebel fairy who is an anti-citizen. And besides, don't you have a sidekick already? Yes, but he is completely useless. Nellicus would be happy if he heard you to say that. Please, leave my superior out of this. But you have spirit and guts, some abilities that a second command should have. I believe that if we can reach to mutual respect and understanding. Razorbeard noticed that Batilla didn't listen to him. She just stared horizon oddly attentive. What? He's here? Said Batilla with a hint of joy was seen on her face. Who's here? Rayman? Suddenly, Batilla ran towards the edge and jumped out of the ship. Razorbeard knew that this was definitely something Nellicus wouldn't like to hear. Like, what? Did she jump out of a window? Drop from this high won't be good for health. But I had to make the daring attempt to escape for Rayman's for Rayman's shake. like she really wants Rayman's milkshake.
The grammar here hurts me.
Luckily, I can levitate and use that power to slow down my speed. But even then, there has to be something to soften my drop. Well, it is a mean thing to do, but I have no choice. Hopefully, he doesn't hurt himself too much. Rayman, so glad to see you. Rayman couldn't help but to feel frustrated. He had to cover his eyes in a calm and happy place, but the first thing he had to watch, some swamp-like place that was filled with bizarre-shaped light blue rocks, chunks of ice, and lava, apparently. He, Lee, Globox, and Mosquito were traveling towards the Sanctuary of Bad Dreams. Oh, there's now a Sanctuary of Bad Dreams?
Wasn't there? I think one of the versions of Rayman actually called it a sanctuary. I think. Oh no! Actually, no. Wait. What am I saying? No, it's sort of just like it like combined the sanctuary names like Stone and Fire and whatever, like with the Cave of Bad Dreams.
Yeah, like we had like this.
Yeah.
We had not only did we have a Cave of Bad Dreams, but the story also introduced the Swamp of Bad Dreams, and now there's a sanctuary.
I think the idea is that the Cave of Bad Dreams in Rayman 2 is right outside of a swamp, like the entrance to the cave, so maybe that's where that logic falls.
Like the story did make note earlier on. Nellicus wanted to destroy the Glade of Dreams without anyone inside because he doesn't want to kill people. But then he learned that like the Cave of Bad Dreams is an actual real place with creatures in it, so technically he did kill them, but then he was like, well, at least they weren't the intelligent species. God, I keep forgetting about this. The Glade of Dreams is gone. They're not on the Glade of Dreams. There's someone else. So there's just another place that has Bad Dreams in a name.
Maybe that's why it became after assimilation.
I guess so. They've been told that Baharnos instructed Sam to help them to get across the swamp so Rayman didn't feel so frustrated. Okay? But Sanctuary of Bad Dreams, a mere name made Rayman to shiver. Even the sky was more menacing than usual. Then he noticed that something was coming towards him, but he didn't have time to react. Lee, Globox, and Mosquito fell by the sudden impact. Was that a meteorite? Asked Globox. I don't think so, answered Lee and stood up. There didn't fly any rocks, but is Rayman okay? The tree of them ran to watch Rayman's condition. He seemed to be okay, but he stared surprised the fairy that had hit him. Oh, okay, so I guess Spatilla did violently land on Rayman. Rayman's head filled with memories when he looked this faintly breathing red fairy. Hold on. Rayman's head filled with memories when he looked this faintly breathing red-haired fairy with no limbs. He remembered how she had given all his powers, how to hit with his fist, how to hang. Is that a superpower? Well, I mean, neither is shooting a fist, but okay. How to grab objects with his power fist, how to use his hair as a helicopter, and to run with extreme speed. Like, okay, calm down, this isn't Rayman Origins. Rayman remembered how she was captured by some dark and mysterious man. A dark and mysterious man. How he saved her, and apparently the whole world, and there was a huge party. Attila? Rayman asked when the name popped. Wait, when Rayman asked when the name popped to his mind. Rayman? Attila said faintly and stood up slowly. I guess you might suffer from memory loss, but you remember me after all. So good to see you. She gave him a brief hug. You're Patilla? Asked Lee, amazed. I heard you have been in prison for a long time. It's sure lucky to have you back. Thank you, Patilla replied. Nice to see Rayman has new friends. I know you are Lee, the famous fashion designer, and Mosquito I have known for long. But who is this Toad? Oh, Rayman said. He is Globox, my best friend. The conversation was interrupted by a blue snake called Sam, who rose up from the swamp. Perplexed silence occurred. Wait a minute. I need to double check real quick. So, like, that's Sam with, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 S's. Was it like... yeah, this Sam has 4 S's. Okay, so, like, the author is not keeping it consistent. Great. Vaharnos... Oh, wait, no. Sam is speaking. Shit! Vaharnos mentioned only 4 people, he said after a while. Can you fly, miss? The conversation was interrupted by a distant humming voice. Looks like we have to leave introductions to later, Rayman said when he noticed a robo-pirate warship. Sam, take Globox with you. I go with Mosquito. All of them escaped deeper to the bizarre swamp when the warship started heavy bombing. It's certainly a lucky strike that Patilla is helping us. People have talked about her a lot as an inspiring figure. She is actually the reason why Rayman has all his powers. I've never seen him running with extreme speed, but all the other powers still remain. Without Patilla, Rayman wouldn't be Rayman. Yikes, that deformed monster nearly got me. Take that! It's not wise to think anything else in hectic situations, but I can't stop thinking how Patilla's help affected Rayman. Was she just a friend? A sister he never had? Or something deeper? Oh no. Oh, come to your senses already, Lee. It's been who knows how many years since you last time saw him. He could have been moved forward. Although I'm quite sure he hasn't done that. We are escaping from heavy firing, and here I am, wondering does one man I met long time ago think me anymore? We weren't even seriously crushed, just 2 or 3 talks. Wait, I'm confused. What's going on? Zeta says, running with extreme speed. That wasn't there until Origins. So they're referring to the fact that Rayman had a running ability in the first Rayman game, which is kind of funny that they describe it as extreme speed. He was not that fast. Calm down.
He was faster in Origins, I think, regardless. But,
Yeah.
And if it is like somehow subconsciously referenced in the Rabbids prototype, there's no real back then we didn't know anything about the prototype other than the trailer.
True. I'm just really confused by this paragraph. I know this is Lee the Fairy speaking, but I have no idea what she's talking. Okay. Okay, I keep forgetting. Like, yeah, it's because she was captured during the events of Rayman 3. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was Lee. I only realized until like this sentence. Like, this is just a thing the story does. Like, sometimes the story will have like a paragraph of 2 of like what a character is thinking about all this, and it's very strange, especially when it's not really clear who's speaking or why this is even a thing. Lee's thoughts were interrupted when a bullet destroyed an incoming robo-pirate. Then a voice was heard from a megaphone. Wait, I know who this is. How unlucky and unwise from you to enter my domain. Everything coming through here will become hunted. Rayman recognized that voice. He looked to the voice's source. There he was. The slim body of Razov, the hunter, was standing on the balcony of a rather roughly made mansion. His eyes were keen, aiming with coordinates, but still heat in his mind. The long rifle he was holding spat a set of sharp projectiles that hurled towards another robo-pirate with smashing results. Rayman would have been glad to see Razov, but he remembered his last encounter against this rather discordant hunter. As Rayman predicted, Razov started to aim him and his companions. A shot barely missed Sam, but Batilla wasn't so lucky. Oh no! Rayman, however, was able to grab her in high speed. Wow, that was impressive, said Batilla, who was still dazzled from the shot. Wait, I'm confused. Did Batilla get shot or not? You're welcome, said Rayman, who was trying to focus on the hectic situation. But the hectic moment was over as quickly as it was started. Couple of robo-pirates had managed to enter in Razov's mansion and knocked him unconscious. This gave enough time for Rayman and his company to slip safely towards the Sanctuary of Bad Dreams. Wait, I'm confused. Were they not near a mansion? Or is the mansion next to the Sanctuary of Bad Dreams? The Sanctuary of Bad Dreams looked like an especially menacing spiked stone dome. Apparently, it contained elements from all the other sanctuaries Rayman had visited in, as random chunks of ice and rivers of lava were placed on the side of this humongous rock. Sam would have wanted to aid his friends, who he sees so rarely. So, the snake started, I guess we part in this point. Wait, I'm just realizing that we have Sam the Snake and Razov in the same area. Is Sam gonna die? So, the snake started, I guess we part in this point. I guess so, said Rayman uneasy. Well, come visit sometime, said Sam melancholy, and dived to the swamp. For a moment, everybody watched Sam going and stood there with pressing silence. So sad he couldn't leave anywhere from the swamps, where most of the residents weren't as nice as him. But everyone knew that they had a mission in their hands, so they went deeper to the Sanctuary of Bad Dreams. Several unnamed horrors later, they arrived to a grand icy hall, rivers of lava pouring next to the walls. Okay, so we're not gonna get an explanation for what that means, okay? In the century of the hall, there was a stone pile. Rayman had seen this kind of piles before in other sanctuaries, so he knew this one would hold a mass inside of it. What? What does that mean? Like just rubble? I have experiences about these places, Rayman instructed his friends. This was way too easy. Suddenly, Rayman's eyes started to hurt and he had to fall on his knees. He doesn't have knees! Why did I say that? It's the ultimate jinx! Rayman scolded himself. Lee, Batilla, Globox, and Mosquito approached Rayman, asking what's the matter. While being worried of Rayman, no one noticed a lone hovercraft that landed on an unreachable ledge. Rayman told his friends that everything was fine and the pain has stopped. When he looked at them, they gasped in horror. Why are you looking at me like that? Rayman asked. They're the eyes of Nelicus, Batilla said, terrified. Rayman couldn't see it, but everyone else saw his eyes, which were bright yellow with red pupils. To Rayman's horror, his lips started slowly move, making monotonic talk. Is Razorbeard here? Everyone looked around, and far in the hall, they saw Razorbeard in his hovercraft. He waved to the heroes when they noticed him. Lee yelled at Nelicus-infested Rayman. Get away from him! Hold your tongue, anti-citizen, said Rayman. Rayman started to yell furiously. Razorbeard! How on earth Batilla escaped? Believe it or not, Razorbeard said, she jumped from the ship, just like that. Really? Rayman asked. How brave of you, Batilla. But you would not stay free for long. But this is sticking. Too much energy. I must go, but first, Jano, I summon you! Oh shit, Jano's back. A black cloud appeared in front of the stone pillar, and from it emerged a former guard of the Cave of the Bad Dreams. Expect the pupil in his big yellow eye wasn't black, it was pure red. My apologies, Rayman, but Nelicus has complete control of me, Jano said. This is nothing personal. Razorbeard had taken control of his hovercraft and started to shoot at Rayman's friends. Rayman was ready to face Jano, but Rayman had hard time to focus as his eyes blinked in pattern of short and long pauses. Unfortunately, Rayman didn't know what Morse coding was, but Nelicus knew and shamelessly used Rayman's eyes to inform Jano about his moves? Rayman jumped away from Jano's fireball, but was instantly hit by his skull wand. Mosquito and the blue one, Batilla shouted. Distract Razorbeard. I and Lee will help Rayman. Rayman was happy here that as his constant blinking really started to annoy him. Jano was now busy with two fairies levitating around him and throwing energy balls at him. He tried to keep them away with his flaming skull wand that he pep into the lava. At the same time, Mosquito was distracting Razorbeard, and Globox was desperately trying to create a rain cloud, but he was too afraid by the hectic situation. Forget the fairies. Hit Rayman when I will give the single Morse Nelicus through Rayman's eyes. Okay, this is told through Morse code, so he misspelled signal in Morse.
What kind of gifts are you posting?
Forget Mosquito. Grab Rayman when I will give the single, informed Nelicus to Razorbeard through the hovercraft speakers. Metallic hand came from hovercraft. It grabbed Mosquito and threw him at the wall, knocking his lights out. Now, informed Nelicus to his two aides. Jano hit Rayman at the right moment and made his head spin. Jano was quickly outnumbered by Lee and Batilla, who tied him mentally. All their energy was used to keep Jano binded, but at the same time, Razorbeard was flying towards Rayman at full speed, ready to grab him and deliver him to Culture Chateau. Globox was, however, able to act now that he wasn't directly threatened. He started to make his rain dance, knowing that if this would fail, all would be lost. With huge mental effort, he was able to create a rain cloud that rusted the controls of Razorbeard's hovercraft. It was enough to crash the thing to the ground. Rayman started to wake up. He saw that Jaina was held by the fairies, and Razorbeard's hovercraft was just a smoking pile of metallic scrap. Perhaps he with it as well. He ran to the pillar and stopped in front of it. Magical energy started to emit from the round symbol that was on Rayman's shirt, linking with the round symbol in the pillar. Nelicus watched through Rayman's eyes, and he didn't like about what he saw. The rest of the government, except for Sergei, could see he was in hospital and replaced by Professor Barranco was there giving Nelicus their full mental support. Wait, what? Hold on, what just happened?
Barranco giving emotional support to Nelligus?
Okay, so the rest of the government, except for Sergei, could see he was in a hospital and replaced by... Well, who was in a hospital? What? I don't... Sergei or Nelicus? I don't... Okay.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
Concentrate harder, Nelicus yelled. We must get Jano free before Rayman gets the mask. Jano managed to get free from the fairy's grasp and approached Rayman. He didn't notice this as he watched the mask that he had come out of the pillars. Its sarcastic eyes watched him, like when he first founded it from the sanctuary of stone and fire, not to be confused with the sanctuary of rock and lava. Those were the days. Jano's long fingers grasped Rayman, and Razorbeard dug himself out from the rubbles of his hovercraft. It was a miracle that he survived, but he didn't feel as lucky when he looked around and noticed that no one else was there. Hello? Asked Razorbeard. Could someone just pick me up? The mask had teleported the whole party, including Jano, back to Polycus's hideout. Rayman had remembered to keep his hands in front of his eyes. The first mask, Polycus said. How outstanding. But I must now hurry and remove the eye control of Nelicus from you. Do not worry. This will hurt a lot more Nelicus than it will hurt you. Nelicus commanded Mr. Dark to leave his body. He sat there, waiting nervously for the upcoming pain. Suddenly his eyes started to emit bright light and smoke. His eyes bloated, whirled in their sockets, finally stretching through the hall until they returned back to their normal size. Wait, what? Like, are his eyes like tubes? What? For a moment, he kept his long hands on his eyes while the government watched him worried. Well, Nelicus finally said, his range slowly building, we still have no idea where Polycus is hiding. But no matter. We have still 3 masks, and therefore plenty of opportunities to catch Rayman and end this rebellion forever. But right now, I'm just really, really frustrated that he slipped from my hands when I was this close to get him. Grah! Nelicus pounded his fist on the table several times in pure rage until he stopped in deep depression. I have actually a surprise for you that makes you feel better, said Durana. Oh, please, tell me, said Nelicus melancholy. Do you want to know where Rayman is now? She asked. Nelicus' face went brighter by the mixed surprise and joy when he realized what Durana meant with her words. To be continued. Alright. That was chapter 4. Wow, okay. So, Matilda is back, and I guess she's just part of the group now. That's cool.
That hurt my brain.
Yeah. That was actually fairly normal for this chapter, for the story standards. You know, it's mainly just adventure stuff.
Lovely.
Yeah. I want to ask Nick, have you watched the first part of the story?
Remotely.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually fairly tame for the story standards, but it's still very, like, strange. I could definitely tell that, you know, this author has a vision for the Rayman universe. Like, you know, we're finally getting Batilla and Lee the fairy working together. It's every fan's dream in the 2000s. But yeah, so okay, let's get started with chapter 5. And actually, the author, Respect for Art, that's their actual name, they said, "It's been a very long while. Anyway, here's the 5th chapter for people visiting in this website to enjoy." Alright, so chapter 5, Old Score to Settle. Rayman looked around him. He had to blink first, as the place they were bathed in bright light. When his eyes accustomed to the light, he saw that he was in a stone-padded glade surrounded by teensy-style iron fence. Wait, what? What is a teensy-styled iron fence? Like...
I'm assuming like little statues of teensies on the iron fence or something like that.
I guess. Or maybe like the fence part itself is shaped like a teensy. I don't know. His attention was quickly drawn to Polycus, who was standing on a stone pillar. But Polycus seemed to be in some time stasis, as his actions were discontinuous and his lips moved even after he had stopped talking. What? Okay. "Welcome to the newly shaped Hall of Doors," Polycus said. Luckily, the removal of the eye control of Nelicus also removed his ability to hear through your ears, so this place still remains a secret. "Polycus, great to see you finally," Rayman said amazed. "But, in the name of yourself, what kind of magical stasis is that?" "Oh, is this the one person... Wait, what? Oh, this is the one-person time stasis. I cannot cast any spells because they would just freeze in the middle of casting and blow up in my hands." Rayman looked at his surroundings and noticed that Murphy was sitting next to the stone pillar, staring deliriously in front of him. "I see you noticed Murphy," Polycus said. "I created him to be the ultimate world dictionary, but he needs my presence in order to keep that massive information in order. When I disappeared, well, you must have seen the results. Therefore, he needs to stay here for a while so I can arrange his mind back in order." Okay. Where are we right now? Like, how did we get here? Okay.
My brain imagined like a little safe space in Rayman 2 where like Lucas was standing on that stone thing talking to Rayman. That's where I imagine we are right now, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Rayman was glad to hear this. Finally, Murphy's latest actions made sense, in their own weird way. "But now let us get back on the mission at hand, namely retrieving the second mask," Polycus said. "My colleague, Farharnos, was able to get some important knowledge about the location of the mask. One of them is hidden in headquarters of Culture Cops, but it is still too dangerous for you to try." I forgot about Culture Cops. "So you suggest that we try to gather more forces?" Batilla asked. "Let me finish," said Polycus. "Batilla, please be nice, don't interrupt." Farharnos tried to check the location of the other mask, but he was surprised and couldn't investigate further. "I want you to go to the main office of Culture Pages and find a file that is stored in there." "Why that kind of important file would be stored in a newspaper print house?" asked Rayman. "Very simple," answered one of the teensies. "Everyone assumed that that would be stored in the Culture Cops headquarters and would try to infiltrate there." Oh, hello, Shy Guy. How's it going?
Hello, I'm alright.
Hello. Also, he said, "Hey, every."
Hey,
Hey, every.
Yes, I need to tell you about this insider, Rayman, and many other things as well, Polycus said, considering his words. "Rayman, this insider is your mother." Oh?
What? Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Mother?
Okay.
Mother?
Your mom.
Your mother. Your
Mother?
Every thought in Rayman's head stopped in their tracks when he tried to handle this sudden reveal. For a while, he was silent, as were everyone else. I have a mother?" Rayman managed to say. "Yes, and a father as well," Polycus answered. "They are both working with us against Nelicus." Rayman just stared in front of him while having a faint smile of mixed confusion and disbelief. Yeah.
Well, okay, can I just say, this is so funny considering that, like, after Origins was revealed, you know, everyone was assuming that Batilla was basically Rayman's mom.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of like a headcanon for most people now, but this was before that, so it's like, it feels way more random, I think,
Oh
than
man.
it would now. Gosh.
I. I'm assuming the story is gonna say, yeah, Batilla is your mom, Rayman. But I'm curious now, like, what if it's not the case? Where's the story going?
Oh no, Rayman's parents are literally just limbless like him.
Oh no.
They're unfinished.
It runs in the family. Anyway, it was unbelievable that finally, after all these years, his past would make some sense. But he still felt hollow because he didn't remember any time he had spent with his parents. I still need more answers, Polygus, Rayman said after a while. Why was I taken out of my world? Did I even have any normal life before that? Actually, you had a pretty much oh my god. Actually, you had pretty much normal childhood, Patilla answered. Or so I've heard. I hadn't met you before your duty began. My duty? Rayman asked. That's another thing I need to tell, Polygus said. Rayman wanted more than anything to concentrate on Polygus' speech. Sometime after me and Nelicus were born, almost all gods on the universe, myself included, gathered together to choose a mortal champion for us. He could be summoned by the gods to protect the worlds against the threats from inside and outside. We decided the champion should be chosen from the newest of the worlds, as its people would be the least corrupted. So the god of your world, the orb-shaped entity called the Great Proton.
Great Proton. No, this isn't the Great Proton. It's literally just called the Great Proton.
Yeah.
They're two very different concepts.
Yeah. Wait. The orb-shaped entity called the Great Proton chose the child
Proton.
of Rion and Nela. The child was named Rayman because of him being chosen among Raymanians.
What? wait, so his name is literally Rayman, as in he's named after the species. So, wait, hold on a sec. What if there was like a real life chosen one in our world, but he's just called Human?
Human.
Human.
Human. He's named after his species, the Humanians.
Your mother.
Oh my god, that just reminds me of like that one Rayman 4 creepypasta where like there's like a human character named Reynard Manning. Zeta says, if Murphy wore a tinfoil hat, would he wear it like this or like this? Oh, that's a good question. Rayman was amused by hearing this, so it was the gods and not his parents who had poor imagination. Damn. But
fuck.
But there was something that we had not thought. Many of the gods actually found our offer of Nelicus about the universe where everyone would be a creative being quite tempting and join in its cause. Okay. For them, it was easy to imprison the rest of the gods before they had any time to summon you. And it, of course, became easier once you somehow obtained the mysterious dark force to increase his strength. When I saw in my dream state that Nelicus was on the rampage, I summoned you to my world, the Glade of Dreams, before he managed to conquer yours. I'd still like to know why I can't remember my past life, Rayman said. You are originally a being made of electoons, but in my world, beings are formed by lums. Our other mistake, as majority of the gods use lums in creation. I had to change your atomic structure so you can live in the Glade of Dreams, but that also erased your entire memory. I, however, still managed to encrypt it in your genetic code so it returns to you when you see familiar faces. What the fuck is this?
Okay. What's funny about this is that it kind of canonically, quote unquote, kind of canonical, or I guess I don't know. It creates a headcanon for why in Origins he was made up of lums. While in Rayman 1, he's made up of Electoons. It kind of creates some kind of like weird headcanon.
My
That kind of-
God. This is
Like-
so...
My word.
Gosh.
Okay, I have to compliment the writer for this little bit. Like, they're a fucking genius. Like, who the hell would ever thought, like, oh yeah, the reason why you can't remember the events of the first game is because you were made of Electoons in that first game, and then I changed your genetic code to be made out of lums, and that's why you can't remember the events of the first game. But also, I have this convenient thing where you can remember the events of the first game. Like, this guy is a genius. I wish I could write like this. Rayman didn't fully understand Polycus's explanation, but the thought about being recreated nearly from scratch made him to shiver. He still had more questions, but before he could ask those, Polycus said, I see you are troubled. I would like to answer your further questions, but we must now focus on our mission at hand. First, now that I am able, I will give you back the power of extreme speed, which you lost in the atom structure exchange! Bro!
What? You could literally run like Sonic? What?
This author's so big brain. Not only did changing his atomic structure erase his memories, it also removed his ability to run from Rayman 1, and that's why he doesn't run in Rayman 2 and 3.
So,
My God!
Did he handicap him? But
Holy
He's running in
shit.
Rayman 2 by default.
But he doesn't have
yeah,
a
that's
run
right.
button, is the thing.
he technically runs visually, but like it's
Yeah,
not
it's like-
treated as
Thanks
I
to
don't know.
analogic controls, you know.
true. This is so confusing.
I like how the previous chapter was like, it was funny, but it wasn't like that crazy. And then we get to this chapter, and it's already starting on a really huge note.
Excuse me, I will need to justify scientifically every change between two stories.
I don't even
Yes.
I don't even remember why we're getting all this information. Like it's just because Rayman was asking like, hey, what's the deal? And he's just giving us this.
Oh right, his parents, right? We followed his parents.
Yeah. Who, by the way, the parents' names are like Rion and Nelia. Let's make a note of that.
Rion.
Alright, without any other word, Polycus gave his bright blessing of energy on Rayman. After a passing feeling of euphoria, Rayman tried to focus to his legs, and that... Wait,
And
what? Rayman tried to focus to his legs, and there they were. 2 energy strings that connected his body and feet!
wait, are they literally trying to explain away why Rayman can actually have legs in Rayman Raving Rabbids?
Oh. Oh my god. Okay, maybe... I'm gonna read ahead, but the first impression I'm getting is that Polycus gave Rayman legs. Neat, Rayman said and stopped focusing. So, culture pages, huh? Well, who's coming with me? If you don't mind, started Glowbox, I'd like to go back to the Rebels hideout. I know I said I wanted to aid you, and I will, but I'd just like spend some more time with Uglet and the kids. I understand, now even more than ever, Rayman replied with a sad smile. I'd like to go as well. I'd like to go as well, said Mosquito. I don't like cities. After short goodbyes, Glowbox and Mosquito walked to the portal behind an open iron gate and disappeared. I'll stay here to guard my master, stated Jano. Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, wait.
You know.
Jano's
What?
here?
Jano? It's Jano.
The Mike
remember
Wazowski
he said,
guy.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
got
remember
Mike
I-
Wazowski in the head.
I've been reminded, Jano got teleported with the whole gang.
Okay,
Now I remember him.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that
now I
makes
remember.
sense. That whole last part just really confused me. So like I didn't even register in my mind like, oh yeah, Jano's with them now. Hi, Jano. Anyway,
Hello, Jano.
I'll stay here to guard my master, stated Jano. Now, Jano, Polycus said. I prefer my own name, but you may call me Lord if you had to. As you wish, my lord, Jano replied. Damn.
Oh my
Master?
god.
I thought Jaina was his first nightmare, and he was specifically against him.
I mean, I actually don't remember. Like, I know that detail was said in like the Origins manual. Was that said in Rayman 2's supplementary material? I don't know.
Gotta check.
Yeah. Oh my god. All seems to be settled, Polycus said to Rayman, Lee, and Matilda. A portal over there will send you to the back alley of the building, where you will meet your contact. But the gate to that portal is locked, pointed Rayman. That's the reason why Polycus instructed you earlier to gather as many lums as possible, instructed one of the teensies. Opening these portals require lots of energy. Rayman remembered how he needed to gather enough lums in order to retrieve the 4 masks during the Robo Pirates incident. He was glad the gate to the portal opened at the first try. It would have been incredibly annoying to return to those nasty places where he had to struggle really hard for his life. Polycus said his goodbyes. Be careful, you all. Determined to succeed, the party of 3 stepped to the portal. After a series of swirling shapes, Rayman, Lee, and Patilla arrived to their destination. Even though they were at the back alley of Culture Pages, it still looked really amazing to Rayman. He had seen great apartment buildings during his trip to Earth, but the sepia coloring these buildings had made them look ancient and modern at the same time. Fairer, he could see few skyscrapers and other high buildings, most notably the mountain-sized and grandeur-looking palace, which Rayman correctly presumed to be Culture Chateau. Then he heard someone talking. Yes, the landscape is oppressive, but I'd like to do some mission briefing, if you don't mind. Rayman looked around and noticed a fine-looking cylinder hat next to dumpsters. From
Wait,
the hat... Yeah?
So, was Rayman meant to be, like, colorblind or something? Because, what's his name, Nelicus would see through his eyes, though?
I think... yeah, I don't remember. Like, that was a whole thing in the previous chapter. Like, he had to keep his eyes shut whenever he's in Polycus's dimension or something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so the first time you see the shapes during the travel.
Yeah.
E.
From the hat emerged a finely dressed Romanian whose hat and long blonde hair covered his eyes. Oh shit. Once again,
Yes.
Rayman got another memory swarm. He remembered this mysterious man as a helper who gave him more constitution if he managed to win timed running contests, and who also participated in some victory party. Seems that you remember my looks, but not my name, the man said. Neither do I, but call me Magician, so does everyone else. Good to see you, Rayman, and Patilla too. Likewise, said Patilla, while giving Magician a brief hug. How you managed to run the rebellion here in city while I was gone? To be honest, we have remained rather stationary since you were captured, the Magician admitted. How did you manage to escape from Razorbeard anyway? Believe it or not, I jumped from a ship. Just like that? You surely had guts to jump from that high. No worries, Rayman softened my landing. Batilla turned on Rayman. Batilla turned on Rayman. Oh shit, betrayal. I didn't apologize about it earlier, so sorry Rayman for landing on you. That's okay, said Rayman, who, however, still had some pains from it. I hate to interrupt.
How long ago?
Yeah?
How long ago was, like, that, exactly? Was that in the last chapter?
Yeah, that was in the last chapter.
Oh, okay. I literally thought, oh, wait, what? He literally landed on Rayman's back in Rayman 2? Like, what? That's ages ago.
I hate to interrupt, but, started Lee. Our mission indeed, said Magician. Thank you, Lee. Verhanos informed that the file about the location of the second mask is located in the lower vaults of the building. More specifically, basement floor 2's third file cabinet of the 5th row. Is that gonna be relevant? The best route there is through the main entrance, as majority of the culture cops are at the higher floors. The resistance you face will be quite minimal, but the basement floors are filled with traps and alarms, so be extra careful there. We will, Batilla said. What are you going to do? Farhana wants me to do something I cannot yet share at this point, but I like to first talk to Rayman with... But I like to first talk with Rayman in private. Batilla and Lee both guessed what subject Magician would bring up and went fairer. When they were out of hearing distance, Magician said to Rayman, Parkus must have told you about Nelia. Yes, I know she is my mother, and that she works in culture pages. I just wanted to make sure that you are prepared. Meeting your long-lost family member could be a very hard experience. I am fully prepared, thanks for asking. Forgive me. Rayman was going to ask why Magician needed to be forgiven, but the thought slipped from his mind as quickly as it came. Instantly, he was starting to feel that he shouldn't go with Lee and Patilla through the main entrance. Instead, he would take a different route by using the building's fire escape ladders that for some reason were unguarded. Go to the roof, and from there go straight to the top floor where the main editor's office was. He had no idea how he knew this stuff, or why it was necessary to go to the main editor's office, but he felt it was the right thing to do and vital for their success. I have to go now, Magician said to the whole group. Good luck to you all. Without another word, Magician teleported himself away. That power would have been really handy in my past adventures, Rayman said to himself. Okay, I visited here once, so I know we will most likely face... Lee started, but Rayman interrupted her. You face. I'm going to take a different route. What? Lee said, surprised. Rayman, are you really sure it's wise to split our team? I have handled some tough situations alone, if that's what you mean. Did Magician give you new instructions? Matilda asked. Why can't you just tell us? No! Rayman said, frustrated. I just have a plan. Please, both of you, trust me on this. Matilda and Lee couldn't think of any reason to doubt Rayman's judgment. He has always been worthy of everyone's trust. Of course, Matilda answered. Let's go, Lee! The fairies and Rayman went to their separate directions. Zeta says, okay, calm down, Rayman. People were just wondering. They didn't insist or anything. They asked one time. Yeah. Rayman is like an emotional wreck in this story. It's like the moment he learned about his parents and shit, he's just like, no, I can't do this. I have to do this.
Oh shit.
Nelicus waited for Dorana's response. It was surely a... Whose perspective is this? Is this a new... I don't know. Nelicus waited for Dorana's response. It was surely a pleasant surprise to learn about Dorana being a goddess. What? It was impressive how long she had been able to hide it. Okay, this is a reveal, okay. After learning that their tactical advantage wasn't lost after all, Nelicus had permitted all the other members of Culture Council to lead to their daily duties and asked Dorana to look for Rayman's next move. She had already told that Rayman, Lee, and Patilla were at the back alley of Culture Pages with Magician, but she had suddenly started to sadly stare in front of her. Well, what? Nelicus asked.
We're waiting.
He asked for forgiveness, Dorana said while still staring. I know he meant that for me. He would not get any, at least not from me. Traitors do not deserve that. But he clearly wants a second change. Huh? Why else was he not told my godly identity for the rebels? Nelicus had to admit Dorana's thought pattern was logical, but the cold fact was the Magician nearly was in Culture Council, and betraying them was the heaviest crime of all. Wait.
What? What?
Isn't that weird how they're making the Magician a bad guy, and the very next game is gonna...
Oh.
Did the Ubisoft devs, did Ubisoft Montpellier devs actually read this and actually take inspiration from it?
Honestly, I would really love that.
There's quite a few pointers for that. Like, there's quite a few things they're kind of pointing towards that. It's the lums thing, and being created with lums. The whole
running.
The run, yeah. The what else? Like this. Uh, there's a few things like that. Yeah, just what?
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goody goodness.
No wonder he asked forgiveness, said Durana, disappointed. He must have planted mental command in Rayman to take a different route, so can I see what Batilla and Lee are doing at the main entrance? Regret is not going to help him much if he keeps aiding our enemies, said Nalagus, who was slightly amused by Durana's naive optimism. I have already informed Mr. Sachs that he will receive unwanted visitors, but now it seems we need additional help. Nalagus took his cell phone and dialed a number. I need you to come back here this instant, he said and closed the phone. It certainly wants revenge. The feeling of hatred is so powerful. You're about to send Mr. Dark? Asked Durana, surprised. Why not?
Oh,
I have denied its chance to face its old arch nemesis for too long. Now I only need
It?
its way of transport. Ah, you have arrived. Okay, so they're referring Mr. Dark as an it. So I guess, like... Which is kind of funny, though, because he's called Mr. Dark.
is Mr. Dark.
I kind of like the idea of Mr. Dark not really being a person, but like just a evil entity. It kind of reminds me of how he looks in Rayman and Mini. He's not really a well. He still kind of looks like a person, but like he looks much more monstrous in that game.
Yeah, in this story, Mr. Dark is like this dark, organic substance that gives Nalagus his more frightening appearance. Because by default, Nalagus is supposed to just look like an evil Polygus, but with Mr. Dark fused together, he has a much more menacing design, I guess. God.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking, Mr. Dark 2 had arrived and waited quietly for his master's command. Oh yeah, I don't know if you remember this, Nick, but there is a Mr. Dark 2.
I was never informed about this, and I wish to be uninformed about this.
He had the same dark blue cape, gloves, and hat that the original Mr. Dark had. But the hat was so deep in his head, his eyes couldn't be seen. Huh. Zeta, do you think you could make an edit of that? Mr. Dark the Second, Nalagus said. I'm aware they have to run Burning Soul Game Studios. Oh yeah, I forgot that Mr.
Burning-
Dark 2 runs a game studio. I am aware that you have to run Burning Soul Game Studios, but this is an urgent mission. I need you to take Mr. Dark to Culture Pages. Mr. Dark didn't like this command, and it made him take a few steps back. But Nalagus, you promise. He started, but Nalagus interrupted him. I know what I promise. That is why I cast a spell protection. Wait, what? That is why I cast a protection spell on you that I just recently got that. What? Oh my god, this fucking sentence. Hold on. That is why cast a protection spell on you that I just recently got developed. The spell was cast on Mr. Dark 2 with purple red light effect. After that, Nalagus commanded, Mr. Dark, embrace him. Dark matter left from Nalagus, turning him back to his original, equally frightening form. The matter poured into the mortal being in front of him, who screamed in agony. Seconds later, he lifted his hat, revealing pitch black head with 2 yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Its presence is still unpleasant, said Mr. Dark 2. But at least this time, the thoughts are my own. My sincerest thanks? What the fuck is... What?
My very deepest thanks to you while you absolutely demolish me.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish this paragraph and then I'll speculate on this. You are welcome, Nalagus said, and commanded him to teleportation chambers. Then he turned on Durana. I will go now to transport Razorbeard back here, and after that finish the playing of Betrayal at Krondor. What? Betrayal at Krondor?
Krondor.
I will, however, try to find someone to aid you in focusing. Thank you, but I can manage for a while longer than you could. You could do all the important things before that. All correct, said Nelicus, and left while Durana was focusing
Hello?
on Raven's feet.
I have
Excuse me?
so many questions.
Okay, ignoring that peculiar sentence, I want to speculate on the nature of Mr. Dark for a moment. So, I speculate that the whole Mr. Dark 2 situation is that Mr. Dark 2 may actually be the Mr. Dark from the games, and that what the Mr. Dark, the essence that is infused into Nelicus, is meant to be like the other half of Mr. Dark 2, but like, and the protection spell is meant to protect Mr. Dark 2 from the original Mr. Dark, because I guess the original Mr. Dark controls his thoughts or something. I don't
I think
know.
your guess is as good as everyone else's.
It's kind of wild how there's like this whole like this weird interesting detail regarding Mr. Dark 2 that the story just doesn't explicitly explain. It's just kind of letting the storytelling speak for itself, and we had to speculate on that. Which, to be honest, I actually do respect that. Like, that's actually a good way of, like, you know, writing a story, I think. It's just really, it's just very strange. Like,
Honestly, this story is just, it's weirdly strange, but at the same time, it's just got all these really, like, interesting ideas to it.
yeah. Alright, I'm gonna keep reading.
Holy crap.
Okay, but also I just want to comment on Durana was focusing on Rayman's feet. So it's like they're using Rayman as like a conduit for like information. They're like, okay, we can possess Rayman so we can see somehow what he's doing, where he's at now. And now I guess Durana is like she's gonna possess Rayman's feet. I don't know.
I don't think Neligus is unable to do it now.
Rabbit Lover says, I think I'm gonna go and write something. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You take care.
yeah, see.
See you later.
Bye.
Alright, now to resume reading. Why all the places I visited had to have long gaps and other nasty traps? I know the rooms I just passed aren't regularly used by those who work here, but seriously, how many casualties just coming to get some files out of here must have caused? Not to mention those rooms had antitunes, some creatures looking like some horn-shaped instruments, Romanian culture cops, who I have some blurry memories about meeting them before as hunters or clowns, and prisoners of all things.
Clowns?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Hunters and clowns.
Okay, I'm assuming this is Rayman speaking. Culture pages were probably designed by the same maniac who put Razorbeard's old prison ship together. It wasn't meant that anyone could walk in that place. I think I'm close to the main editor's office. What was I supposed to do in here anyway? Wait, it comes... Of course! The basement security override switch hidden there. I just need switch it off, and Lee and Patilla don't need to worry about any traps. But how do I even know that? Oh well, have to admit, it is kind of a clever choice. Anyone with logical thinking wouldn't look from there.
Anyone with logical thinking would certainly lurk in this one specific place.
God. Darn, it sounds the main editor is still there. His voice sounds really familiar, but I don't remember who he is. I may have to change. I remember. It's my mother's voice. She is the main editor's secretary. Amazing she has gained that position without him realizing she works against Neligus. Should I talk to her first? I should, but on the other hand, Lee and Batilla could use me help. Wait, oh no. Wait, why are my feet tickling so much?
Killing so much? What?
Oh no. That won't do, yelled Mr. Sachs to his phone. That headline will make it seem too much like a liberator. Nelia, doesn't the headline, Rayman is back, make him look too much like a liberator? And an old and fragile-looking Romanian felt very uncomfortable by this conversation, but still answered to her superior's question. Like what would a fragile-looking Rayman-like character be? Like they just have really wrinkly hands? Yes.
Oh my god.
Even my secretary agreed. I have the perfect headline, which is provocative and simple. Rayman is on loose. The raiders will think him as a threat, and not only there, more properly by our newspaper because of the provocative headline, but also make them do their civil duties and report about Rayman's actions. Mr. Sachs listened for a while, and what he heard didn't please him. What do you mean, public opinion? Culture Council's opinion is the only opinion everyone is ever going to need. Now do your job and put that printing machine on or you're fired. Yo. He smashed the phone back to its place so hard it crushed under his gigantic hand. It's so hard to find employees who do exactly what they should do. I agree, Nelia said, and pretended to do something. This conversation bothers you, said Mr. Sachs, stating the obvious. But the cold fact is that your long-lost son is the most major threat to society. Most notably soon, you have to make the ultimate choice. And how soon should I do that, Mr. Sachs? Earlier, I got a phone call from Nelicus himself, who told that Rayman is coming to the top floors. Perhaps we may even see him walking past that door. Oh, there he is! Rayman didn't understand what in the name of Polygus just happened. Suddenly, his feet had started to move against his own will, and walked straight to the main editor's office. Swarm of memories filled his head when he saw the gigantic saxophone-shaped, limbless creature whose desk revealed him to be the main editor, Mr. Sachs. Rayman remembered he had fought against him before, and, like with Mosquito, they had parted as friends, but there he was, serving Rayman's most powerful enemy. Then his attention focused to the old woman next to Mr. Sachs. He remembered everything from his mother, Nelia, all the warmness, all the comfort, all the safety he had received from her as a child. Mom, Rayman whispered faintly and approached her. Rayman, said his mother and embraced him. Both the mother and son just hugged each other without saying a word or making a gesture. Neither of them was needed at that moment. Wait, what? Neither of them was needed at that moment. What does that mean? Sorry to I break this teary reunion, interrupted Mrs. Sachs, but I have to remind my secretary that she's hugging our most powerful enemy. Rayman suddenly remembered that the security override switch was hidden behind the plum juice cabinet that was right from Mrs. Sachs's desk. Okay? Oh. Push down that plum juice cabinet when I gave the signal, Rayman said to Nelia, parted from her, and turned to Mr. Sachs. Enemy? My memories are still a little hazy, but I think we were friends when I last time saw you. Things are different now, Mr. Sachs said. I happen to choose the right side, but it's still not too late for you. Welcome back.
I'm back. I didn't need to feed the cats, but I will do in a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to join Nelicus' forces, so I guess we'll fight once more. You're welcome to try. Your feet seem to be somewhat stiff. Both of them stared at each other silently, waiting for the other one to do the first move. Now! Rayman yelled. For such a fragile-looking woman, Nelia managed quite effortlessly push down Mrs. Sachs's plum juice cabinet and take cover. As the cabinet fell, Rayman could see a quite large switch that was on position. One energy shot from his fist was enough to turn it off and cause electrical malfunction to keep it in that position. Rayman tried to make his feet move in high speed, but it was very hard to make them move. How in the name of art did you know that switch was there? Wondered Mrs. Sachs, still shocked by Rayman's sudden move.
How in the name of art?
Rayman managed to get his feet back in control by adding their speed, and crashed himself to the wall in front of him. That hurt, but he quickly recovered. Jump on my back, Rayman said to Nella. So that was your choice, Mr. Sachs said to Nella while she and Rayman were leaving. But it's only a minor setback. At least someone in your family knows which one is the right side. Rayman had already started
Oof.
running when he heard Mr. Sachs' last sentence, but it certainly left cold feeling inside of him. Could his father? No. Rayman didn't want to believe it. Oh no.
Oh shit.
Ugh. Mr. Dark 2 was glad that he had finally arrived to the culture pages. We have arrived. Now, leave my body and do what you wanted to do. Dark matter poured from him and took unclear form. It looked like liquid smoke with 2 yellow eyes. Such a wimp, it said to its host when it left. There just seemed to be traps and guards in every place. Now it was even more absurd because people were actually working in these rooms. Most of them didn't even see who or what the fast 2 moving objects were. Those who noticed just stared in amazement or jumped out of their way. Rayman stopped running at Culture Page's gigantic printing machine when he saw pitch black liquid smoke in front of him that stared coldly with its yellow eyes. Oh my god. He started to remember, even though this wasn't the form he had encountered this What? He started to remember, even though this wasn't the form he had encountered this being before. Rayman remembered how that dark matter had kidnapped Patella. He remembered how it had tried to stop him by making a dark copy of him, reverse his feet, made him constantly run, and remove his power to hit. He also remembered the epic battle where it tried to burn him with its fire magic, but was saved by Electoons, and after that, it shape-shifted into mixtures of its most dangerous underlings. It was a source of evil during his very first adventure, but Rayman had managed to defeat it and save the world. Mr. Dark! Rayman yelled the name he hated. Yes, Rayman. After all these years, we finally meet, Mr. Dark said. Stay behind me, said Rayman to his mother. You can let the woman go, Mr. Dark said. I want to have my revenge only on you. The other employees haven't yet learned about my betrayal, so I can easily get out of here. Oh wait, that was Nelia speaking, okay. Said Nelia to her son. Oh my god,
Oh my word.
Try to find Lee and Patella first. They should be somewhere in the basement, Rayman instructed. Nelia left and Rayman stayed to face his old arch-nemesis. Why don't you show your true self? Rayman asked. This is my true form, Mr. Dark replied. I'm nothing but dark matter. I have to take a host body so I can survive. I used to have a very good one that I intended to keep, but you ruined my changes to become the absolute ruler. Now I have to live in a being stronger than myself, which controls me instead other way around. Do you have any idea how frustrating that is, limitless champion? Not being able to use your full potential? Just for that you deserve to be destroyed! Rayman didn't care.
Shit!
Rayman didn't care about Mr. Dark's pain because he realized how much information Mr. Dark happened to reveal during its rambling. So Mr. Dark was the dark force that gave Nelicus extra power and his menacing look. Rayman smiled at Mr. Dark's overconfidence. Usually his enemies didn't reveal this kind of delicate information, not even when they were absolutely sure about their victory. My torment seems to amuse you, said Mr. Dark. Rayman wanted to take advantage of Mr. Dark's blind villainy and didn't correct his misunderstanding. But I have to let go of my host body now. I can feel myself fading away already. I won't, however, leave without first assuring your doom. Rayman was surprised about Mr. Dark's sudden burst of yell, so he gave enough time to it to put a spell on him and hover out of his reach. Rayman suddenly remembered which spell it was and started running. It's literally a witch's spell.
Hit the ground running!
A moment later, where Rayman was materialized, his exact copy, only its skin was grayer, hair was red, its eyes were yellow like Mr. Dark's, and it was generally darker colored. Instantly, it started to mimic Rayman's movements and had the same frustrated expression on its face as Rayman had. Rayman wasn't sure did that creature have any kind of free will, or was it even aware of its existence. But Rayman was sure that it would touch him. What? But Rayman was sure that if it would touch him, they both would be goners. This is Dark Rayman, by the way.
Garters?
Rayman ran all around the printing hall, trying to find an exit somewhere. No matter where he ran, his dark copy was always on his trails. Rayman was getting tired when he saw a delighted sight. Batilla was levitating towards him. Batilla, I could use your help, Rayman said, exhausted. Batilla, I could use your help, his copy repeated a moment later, equally exhausted. Batilla took hold from Rayman's hands and lifted it up. The Dark Rayman couldn't mimic this move because there was nothing to lift it. It screamed when it fell and shattered into a couple of antitudes who ran away. That scream made Rayman to shiver. Glad you showed up, Rayman said, relieved. You probably met my mother. Yes, she told you we're here, Batilla answered. I asked leave to take her out of here and came as fast as I could. It's unbelievable that Mr. Dark was here. I haven't heard anything about him since his defeat. I still consider Mr. Dark it, rather than him, as it seemed to be a non-organic material. So you mean Mr. Dark doesn't have a gender? It sounded male, but since it's a symbiotic being... Mr. Dark is symbiotic? How do you know that? It's revealed to me when it complained about being used by Neligus. It was used by... Batilla said, amazed. This will surely help us, but we have to get the second mask first. Let's go to your parents' home and discuss this more about there. My parents' home? Rayman asked. Sure, you can meet your father as well, Batilla answered and smiled. Rayman smiled faintly back, and they levitated off the building. Mrs. Sax's ominous words were still hanging in Rayman's heads. Okay, so wait. What? So their logic is basically like... Rayman, Mr. Dark is a symbiotic being, so therefore it's an it and not a he. Like, okay. Aunt Miozo rushed to Council Culture's meeting room and met Durana on his way. Wait.
Council Culture.
Aunt Miozo rushed to Culture Council's meeting room and met Durana on his way. Nelica said you need help in something. Aunt Miozo said nervously, am I late? Wait, what? Aunt Miozo is the Teensy King, and now he's at the Culture Council? What? Huh?
Was he evil the whole time and no one know?
It is all correct, Durana replied. I was trying to focus on the feet of Rayman and control them, but I changed my mind at one point. Indeed. Why? Mr. Dark tried to destroy him, said Durana, frustrated. I and Nelicus will have to talk with it about that. And because it revealed vital information, and possibly punish it, we want Rayman captured, not destroyed. I see. I also had something to announce. Hopefully good news, Durana replied. Said. Yes, Aunt Mioza replied cheerfully. We at the TC Council have started the rituals Nelicus requested. It should be ready at tomorrow night. Magnificent, said Durana, pleased. I have also talked with Razorbeard about the takeover of the rebels' jungle hideout. He wanted to know when they would attack. Oh no. I can have Nelicus to inform that, but thank you for your dedication to your task. I am sure you will be a valuable member to your government. I'm grateful, Durana, said Aunt Miozo modestly and left. To be continued. Oh.
To be continued.
Okay.
Gosh.
What the fuck?
What happened? What?
So, Aunt Miozo is a traitor this whole time, and he is a mole within Polycus's area or something.
My word.
Holy fucking shit. What the fuck?
Wow,
What?
that
Okay.
this whole
Was this the last
chapter.
chapter? Oh, was this the
Sorry,
last one?
No, there's two more chapters after this.
Okay.
I'm actually, I think I may stop right here and read the last two chapters for next time, because it is gonna rain soon and my internet is likely gonna cut out. So yeah, you need a break too. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I need to eat something. But okay, so chapter 5. What a holy shit! Like there is so much that happened in this chapter. Like we got so much more lore. We got introduced to Rayman's mother and father. We get more details on the nature of Mr. Dark as a character. And just, my god, I don't. Oh. I'm just kind of left speechless. Like, I just don't know what to say. Oh.
There's just a lot to really unpack with this chapter. I'd say the exposition here is just really heavy. Like, I don't really remember a lot of the details outside of the ones you've just highlighted, personally. But it's just like, there's just a lot to really unpack with this one chapter. Oh my goodness.
I'm still kind of astonished by their explanation for why Rayman can't remember. It's because his genetic makeup got altered, and it's just, what the fuck? It's so funny too, because it's like nowadays, it's like when we think about like the nature of Rayman as a character, like I think we kind of theorized for a while now that like the Electoons and alums may have like a connection, like maybe. Like, I like to think that the Electoons themselves are made out of lums, because, you know, in Rayman Origins mainly, like, you collect lums and you do get Electoons, so, you know. But this author, this author is big brain. They have a respect for art, so they will go with a much more dense and layered explanation that is very interesting, while at the same time also being really baffling. You know,
this entire story is just like it pulls like a twist and a shocking revelation every 2 minutes.
Yeah, and like they do land, you know, it's like they do all land, but it's just like, man. To think that the story was... This is an obscure story. Like, there's not that many people that I've seen that actually reacted to it until much later on. Like down below, like someone from 2016 said, can I please write the upcoming parts? I don't know if OBS has that captured. I would just post a screenshot.
I don't think it does. Yeah, I don't think.
I had to make it fit the screen. But like... And this is back in 2016, so it's like, man. Oh yeah, actually, I should also note that, like, so Chapter 5 and prior chapters were written in, like, 2009 and stuff, but I believe Chapter 7 was written in 2011, so there was, like, a 2-year gap between Chapter 6 and Chapter 7, and 2011, you know, 2011 is a pretty big year for Rayman, so I'm...
Okay, so by that point, Rayman Origins has at least been announced.
Yes.
Also, see you, Han. See you, Zeta.
Yeah, you have a good night,
I'll see
Zeta.
you later.
Yeah, thank you
See you
for
later.
coming over and watching me read this story. But yeah, I'm gonna end the recording somewhere around here, and we'll tackle the next 2 chapters either... I'm trying to think. Like, I guess maybe next Saturday would be good, because, you know, we kind of need to process all this information. But yeah.
Gosh. I am assuming that for Chapter 7, they will probably include some small tidbits of like what was shown of Origins. I have this feeling. I don't know.
I hope so too. I did kind of skim through the later chapters. Not enough where I understand what's happening, but I will say this though. It's quite the cliffhanger that the author left us after all these years.
Oh no, it's a Half-Life level of cliffhangers. No.
Yeah. But yeah, any final words to everyone here?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't. I'm sorry.
No, nothing. I don't know what to say here.
I don't even know what to say about this. Like this whole story is. This whole story is like. It's just. I can't find the words. It's one of those things where it's. I'm genuinely speechless. The story is one of those things where I just completely like left speechless on what it is. Not just because it's like bad or anything, but it's just like it's weird. It sounds very experimental and like ambitious, but at the same time, there's just something about it that feels very. I don't know,
It feels surreal.
Surreal, yeah.
Like the fact that this story was it was written back in 2009. It's like that's such like a specific moment of time for the Rayman fandom, where it's like, you know, they only got like the first 3 Rayman games and other missionless titles, and at this point it was like Rayman as a franchise was kind of on hiatus. Well, Rabbids was the hot new thing, so it's like it's an interesting snapshot of like what part of the Rayman fandom was kind of like. I should note that in Respect for Art's initial forward, they did say that for those who don't know, this was made with the thought, if I were the lead designer of Rayman 4, so like this story to this author is basically what what their Rayman 4 would be like.
You know, and I'm gonna say something actually.
Yeah.
Because like even at the beginning when they mentioned that they posted this on Rayman Zone, I am thinking of actually maybe looking it up on the Wayback Machine. I don't think the page itself was archived. It was probably maybe in like the forum, like maybe like in like the list of like the forum posts. Maybe one of them is about this. So I just want to see how long ago in comparison was that posted versus to this.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I think I'll maybe you could do that after I stop recording, so that like for the next recording session, I could like, yeah, you know, if we find anything, I could post screenshots of that in the next recording. So yeah. But yeah, that is chapters 4 and 5 of Rayman: The Culture Revolution. Chapter 4 was pretty mundane for the story standards, and chapter 5 is like a huge like leak in a dam. It's like it does so much. But yeah, with all that said, thank you all for watching, and you all have a good night and take care. Bye bye.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.